See, it's Sunday, June the 10th, 2018. We're back here in my studio room here at the world headquarters of David Bryan Miller Publishing here in Columbia, Illinois. I'm getting ready to have a little prayer vigil and stuff because, hello, domestic goddess, there you are. I'm having a little prayer song vigil here. Just let me get a selfie stick on here so I can mount this thing somewhere. Don't do that. Don't lose connection. You still there? Okay. Get a stick hooked up. Cause I'm going into the panic mode. You know, this thing that I'm facing in court. You know, I'm praying for deliverance from my adversaries who threaten my liberty. I saw my attorneys several days ago. When is it? Okay, we're talking about rescheduling things because I was supposed to go to court again on June the 18th, but now I'm going to try to get second opinions to go to other mental health providers and get second opinions to try to counter the arguments of this Cuneo Ph, this court psychologist who claims that I'm unfit for trial on these frivolous disorderly conduct charges that should be dismissed outright. It's malicious prosecution and harassment for them to pursue these charges against me yet again, as they've done numerous times before. This is outrageous abuse I endure here. Here I am, an American citizen. I've got 3 college degrees. I'm a sensitive, intelligent, important, talented person. And I have to cope with this. With these hate mongers that do this to me. Because I had psychiatric labels applied to me. They do these things to me and persecute me. And this Cuneo, this is for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, I was charged with frivolous disorderly conduct charges. And then as part of my preparation for trial on these criminal charges, then I was ordered to get a mental health evaluation from a court psychologist, Cuneo Ph of Belleville, who often does this sort of work for the court. And I went and saw Dan, and he claims that I'm unfit for trial. He claims that I have a schizophrenic spectrum disorder, he claimed now. He brings up stuff from 10 years ago that I said in a similar interview with him 10 years ago. He tries to interject it in the present situation and says I'm unfit for trial, and in his opinion, I might be made fit by being placed into a forensic psychiatric facility for a year and forcibly medicated for that year with dangerous, deadly, antipsychotic drugs, etc. I believe he's committing malpractice. He's this clinical psychologist. He's committing malpractice against me at the very least. He's threatening my liberty and my recovery. You know, I've had prolonged disability, and then my mom passed away. I've gone through a rough period here, and now I'm recovering. I'm trying to recover. I'm starting to do things that I always wanted to do, like I'm working as a street musician and trying to get my music career off the ground and stuff, and things are looking swell, and then they put these obstacles in my way. These hate mongers, they stir up these frivolous, disorderly conduct charges and discriminate against me. It's incident at a local retailer and stuff, where they discriminate against me because I had these psychiatric labels put on me before. Because I had anxiety problems. You know, I sought help for anxiety. Does that make me this pariah forever? Apparently in the minds of some of these ignorant people around here it does. And I got to straighten that out. I've got to prevail over these adversaries of mine. You know, they need to let me go. You know, they need to stop this now before it goes any further. It's causing me so much mental anguish and stress already. It needs to stop now. You know, Dan Cuneo, you need to change your opinion. I'm an intelligent, communicative person. I saw the attorneys the other day. We got along just fine. You know, I'm quite competent to handle the situation. Let me set this up. See if I can get this. I think it will be good. Oh, so it doesn't interfere with my other activities here. Here, let's go. No, let's try over here, maybe. Daisy and Patsy, can you hold it here? Can you help me? How come you're not saying much, Patsy? Has a cat got your tongue? Kitty cat, you bring back her tongue. I'm gonna show that cat. Cat's got her tongue again. Well, let's see. I guess that's kind of about right. Looking at it from here, let me see how high is my head above that chair. Oh, they're gonna cut off my. Oh yeah, it's kind of low, I guess. So, see what we'll do here. Anyway, let's see how this is working. We're gonna knock down my play my keyboard. Hold on. No. Oh, and I need the monitor in here too. And see how that's gonna work. Let's see. We can work that out too. There's some things we want to see on her. Let's see. Let's no, that's a little bit more that way, maybe. Okay. Bring that over more. Whoa. Let's see here. I've got the phone hooked to a wall outlet, so it's being juiced constantly as we're doing this. So hopefully battery won't be an issue. That will have. How's that look? That's pretty good. Just about all there's. But how we're going to see me too, though. To account for. Let's see. Okay. Like further here. Let's see. The cable here. Oops. Oh, hello. Have I slept? Well, I slept a bunch. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. So I've only been up like 10 or 11 hours, you know. So I'm not sleepy at all. Yeah, it's 4 a.m. So I've been up 12 hours, you know. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. I slept in yesterday real late. Caught up in my sleep yesterday. Sometimes I get in weird cycles where I'll be up for a couple of days, and then I'll sleep for a prolonged period to catch up for that. Which is kind of, I don't know, sometimes when you do that, you'll feel kind of rough. You feel great until you go to bed, but then once you go to bed and get up, you'll feel a bit rough at first when you get up. See, how's that? Oh, Patsy and Daisy. Oh, are you okay, dear? Oh, I'm sorry, girls. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no. Are they in? They're pretty tough, girls. You're okay. All right, yeah. Huh? Oh, you're just teasing me, huh? Well, there we go. You okay now? We'll put you down there. As we say, I had my mandala book out here. We got here today. We have personal power mandala, which seems appropriate. I pray for deliverance from my adversaries. who threaten my liberty. I mean, this is a scary thought. This is horrific. Dr. Cuneo, why would you do that to a guy like me who has these anxiety issues? Threaten me with this year in a forensic psychiatric facility? Where did I what? It was cut off. The selfie stick is blocking part of your message, domestic guys. Where did I what? You can repeat that in a moment here. Actually, once I sit down, though, I won't be able to see the screen. I'm going to see if I can bring it up on the monitor, though. Where did I get the girls? Actually, I picked them up at Dollar Tree. At the Dollar Tree store. And they remain in China, I believe. Now, Patsy Romano, I say she's Italian. She looks like an Italian girl. And Daisy, I say, is a farm girl from Illinois. But Daisy Illini. But actually, I picked them up at Dollar Tree. I believe they were actually manufactured in China, which is interesting. You said there's not a big trademark issue with them. So, for example, when I had Minnie Mouse as my companion friend, well, then I had to worry, well, would attorneys from Disney come after me and say that I was not authorized to use Minnie Mouse and all this? Well, I think that's unlikely to happen when I'm using some generic characters from a Chinese company. Which is kind of ironic too, because I'm doing what Americans always say that they Chinese do, or they just don't pay attention to our trademarks or copyrights or something. Well, I believe they're just generic characters. I don't know that they have any, media significance or anything in China. I don't believe they do. I think they were just made for this. Generic dolls for Dollar Tree. So I'm wondering now, this is what I'm curious about. If I go into my YouTube now, down here, well, and we're streaming now through the cell phone. But then here on my desktop computer, it has a streaming button. And when I go to it, will I be able to monitor it through this? I mean, I'm afraid what it'll do is confuse it. Live stream show. Welcome back. See, okay. It says offline, but it's not offline, obviously. We're not offline, are we? We're streaming right now. We're not streaming through the desktop computer, which is why it's thinking I'm offline, I suppose. Huh. But when in fact we're not offline, is there some way that I can monitor so I can see the chat is what I'm trying to do and stuff on the screen there? I don't know if we can really do what I'm trying to do here. I mean, you think about it, I suspect it's not going to work. Well, let's see. Let's again once straight. Oh, dashboard, and let's view channel. Here it is, live now. Okay, so. Okay, so. Uh-oh. Okay, so. Oh, it's gonna make it. Uh-oh. Okay, so. Oh, it's gonna make it. Uh-oh. Okay, so. Oh, it's gonna make it. Oh, I'm sorry. What it did was start making a feedback loop. That's the things where it started making a feedback loop. Anticipate that. Now, I think I know how I might be able to control the feedback loop is if I turn down the volume of the mixer, maybe. I don't know if that'll work or not. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's ears there. Feedback loops can be really dangerous. I mean, in a studio, you could potentially have catastrophic hearing loss from a feedback loop of that sort. It's where the microphone is picking up the microphone through the unit, exponentially amplifying it by doing that over and over again. It's a feedback loop. It'll cause feedback. I don't think it got too extreme that time. I hope it didn't cause anybody too much distress there. I suppose we got it under control now. That's what I was. So we can see it. We can go there and see it, but then I'm wondering, if I kill the audio on the desktop for YouTube, maybe that would work, and kill the feedback loop. Let's see what that does. Because I actually want my mic on and stuff, because I'm going to play music and stuff. So I went on for that purpose. So let's see if that works. So we can, down here in our Windows audio mixer down here, will be temporarily out of here. Oops. We'll right click this, open volume mixer, and then see Google Chromium. We're gonna disable it. Here it was. Oh, oh here. Drag it down. There we go. Now we gotta turn down to 0 now. Anyway, there. Now it's disabled. The audio is disabled on that channel now. Let's see if that fixes that. If now we'll do what we were trying to do without a feedback loop occurring. I hope it works. It may. We'll see. See here in a moment. Yeah, feedback loops, boy, they can be a real menace, you know, where they can get out of control and there'll be a shrieking noise going through the studio, deafening everybody and testing the limits of the speaker's ability to deal with high amplitude sound. Let's see my channel. Here it is again. I gotta be careful and real quick. Get out of it if it goes wrong. Where I can see it better. There. But I think that might help though, because we just disabled the audio from that in the. Hello? Yes. I guess that's controlling it. There you are, domestic guys. Now I can see your chat better. I can see your chat much better. See, on my cell phone, I can't see it. You know, it just comes up in a little bubble for a second. Are you hearing a feedback loop now, though? If you give me some feedback, and do you on your end, do you hear a feedback loop? You don't hear nothing? Do you hear any audio? Do you hear me talking? Because you should hear me talking because it's coming through the cell phone and stuff. Okay, so you hear me talking. Good, good. So this is working then. Aha. See, I know these little tricks. Look how the time is throwing me off. Because there's apparently a time delay from what I'm doing and saying and when it appears on my screen here. It's really confusing. There's like a 2-second delay, it looks like. Roughly. If I wave my hand like that, look at that. Oh, yeah. Several seconds delay there before I see it. Yeah. Yeah, it is funny. It's I'll try to ignore it. It's disorienting kind of to see it. Let's see how this. Hopefully hopefully that will. Oh, I just realized though the guitar tuner, we play guitar. Oh boy. See how I look there too? Can I get into the picture here? There he is. There's that bald head there. I started shaving my head. I got tired of my gray hair. I was dyeing it, buying hair dyes. I don't like my gray hair. So, oh, what did I hit there? So, but then, when I was in the Monroe County Jail on Thanksgiving, is when I first had this idea, why not just shave his hair off, This just shave, because I had real short hair at the time anyway. So, it looked like an Egyptian pharaoh. Oh, yes. I'm in Hotep dm666. Perhaps I am an Egyptian pharaoh. I'm here in Egypt, in southern Illinois. It is often called Egypt or Little Egypt. Perhaps I am an Egyptian pharaoh every day. Osiris, Isis, Horus, O Horus, O hawk-headed one, my heart is as light as a feather. In the Egyptian cult with Isis and Horus and Isis, Horus is the son of Isis and Osiris. And when one goes to the afterlife, that Horus, this hawk-headed god, he will weigh your heart. And if your heart is light, then you're more likely to attain heaven and all this. So I say, oh, hawk-headed one, oh, Horus, my heart is as light as a feather. What did I go to school for? My degrees are in sociology and psychology. I want to become, to stimulate my intelligence and my skills and stuff, and help my writing and stuff like that, and reasoning and all that. Tune this up a little bit. That's why this Dr. Cuneo, his arguments are just silly. I'm a guy with a master's degree, and so obviously I could do my committee of professors and stuff to earn my master's degree. Then sure I can deal with these attorneys then for these frivolous charges we're facing again. We've been through it before, They've done this to me before. It's nothing new. So this Dr. Cuneo, he's very biased, Yeah, I feel it's corruption what he's doing. He's corrupt doing this, I believe. I believe his opinion is not really sincere. If you read the report carefully, it's very smart alecky the way he wrote the report. Oh yeah, he's wasting money. That's for sure. They should call the Office of Management and Budget about what he's doing. The kinds of things he's doing, the kinds of things these courts do with these psychiatric evaluations, where then it would be Medicare who would pay for this. A lot of this, if I went to this thing, if they coerced me into receiving this treatment like this, then that would be who would foot much of the bill would be the Medicare system would be milk for it. So so they all, Dr. Cuneo's colleagues all have this to gain from it. Then they would get these Medicare payments coming into their institution, into their pockets and all that too. I mean, eventually. Let the Office of Management and Budget know how this money is being squandered or wasted. This is waste, fraud, and abuse, I would call it. What Dr. Cuneo, what this court is doing is waste, fraud, and abuse. These are frivolous charges. These charges should never have been filed in the first place. They should be dismissed outright. I urge the prosecutor to do that. I don't know if he watches my channel or not, if he'll get that message, but I urge him to dismiss the charges. I'm publicly here on my channel challenging him to do the right thing and dismiss these charges and go ahead and vacate my previous convictions too. They were all based on perjured evidence from police. I thought when police commit perjury in the reports of the court and stuff, that alone should acquit the suspect, the defendant. That fact alone is grounds for acquittal of everything, or vacation of everything. Now that it's already occurred, these convictions can be vacated. How does he know you need a year of... He doesn't know it. He's just saying it again, so they can milk Medicare. Him and his buddies can get a bunch of Medicare money and stuff. They have the Chester Mental Health, and they have an alternate mental health center. These state mental health centers that would take me in to do this, where they take these cases from the court, people who are determined to be unfit for trial, etc. They're sent to those institutions to then be made fit by being forcibly administered dangerous, deadly antipsychotic drugs that cripple them and destroy their brain and nervous system. That's how they make you fit for trial. Is they destroy your nervous system so you can't put up a big fuss, in other words. So you're crippled now from these drugs, so you can't fight and carry on very easily because you're busy trying to control your movements at all because your nervous system has been ravaged by these poisonous drug substances that should be banned. These horrible drugs. This class of drugs is of dubious medical value. It does not improve the quality of life of mental health, victims of mental illness, alleged mental illness. It does not improve the quality of their life whatsoever. To the contrary, it cripples them. That's how the drugs work. It's by crippling people with alleged psychoses. You see that the lay people, the lay public has this fear that somebody with a psychosis could be violent, etc. So then what happens is they give them these drugs that cripple them so they can't be violent because they're unable to control their body's movements because they're being given these drugs that destroy their nervous system and brain. And then they can't be violent because they're on these drugs that are crippling them. Psychiatry is a guessing game. It's treated by trial and error, domestic goddess says. Yeah. It's really a fraud is what it is. It's not medical. See, they try to make it it's not medical. When they give their diagnosis, like he's saying, he currently came with the idea that I have schizophrenic spectrum disorder. There's nowhere in an X-ray or anything you say, well, here's that schizophrenic spectrum disorder. No, it's not a biological illness. You see, it's not medical. It's just a concept. It's just a label. It's a label you put on people whose behavior or whose thoughts you find undesirable in a particular way. And you come up with these convenient little labels like this to stick to those people, and then pretend like it's medicine, medicalize it when it's not. There's nothing medical about it. It's not medical. It is not medical. And you'll see these pseudo-scientific arguments and studies. Oh, well, we've got these genetic correlations, or we've got these this and that and the other thing. It's all baloney. This is all junk science. Even the National Institute of Health, I believe it was, or whatever, that when they came out with the new DSM-5, the Diagnostic Statistical. Oh, I agree. My daughter has a brain injury, and they made me put her on antipsychotic. It's so much worse. They told me if I didn't put her on it, they would take her away. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? I didn't know that, domestic goddess. I didn't know you had a personal experience like that. Hadn't been aware of that until now. It's terrible. It is terrible. You've seen firsthand what I'm talking about. And you've agreed. I'm sure I can find many who would agree, who are knowledgeable of it, who have experienced it. This is horrific human rights abuses going on under the name of psychiatry. This biological, medical psychiatry. It's pseudoscience. It's not biological, medical. It's just labeling. It's defamatory labels. It was hell. I believe you, domestic goddess. You know, they've given it to me before, where, you know, oh, the horrific side effects I had before from these drugs, even for the brief times I've been exposed to them before coercively. There was a number of times I was coerced into consuming them for short periods, and they had horrific effects. I recall one incident in particular where I could not swallow. It was so difficult just to swallow my slide, and I felt like I was choking constantly. You know, and you know, I have COPD and other health conditions. You know, it's surely not good for me to be on this sort of thing. Then the new classes of them, they came with these newer ones that they cause all kinds of metabolic issues. They can cause you to develop diabetes and become grossly obese. You'll gain 150 pounds and all this on these new antipsychotic drugs they came up with. And what's also scary is that then the drug companies started marketing them as antidepressants too. You know, and so they're like widening the net, you know, getting more people drug into this and being exposed to these horrible substances. It is your charge is something that teens get. No one was hurt. Yeah, no one was. These are just baloney, frivolous, disorderly conduct charges. This is where somebody just didn't like the way I was carrying on. You know, the one was when, for example, one was my neighbor. I was in my driveway at about 4 a.m. getting stuff out of my trunk, and I was humming to myself. I was just humming a song to myself. And my neighbor called the police, and the police came, and they charged me with disorderly conduct, saying, well, this, you know, the law, this annoyed the neighbor or whatever, and all this. But, you know, my attorneys, if they had any wherewithal, they'd understand that they would have to show that I intended it to annoy her, for one thing. That I had an intent to do that, which I did not. I wasn't aware of her at all. I wasn't thinking of the neighbor there. I was just getting stuff out of my car, humming to myself. At 4 o'clock in the morning, this neighbor, you know, they make noise at 5 in the morning when they go to work. Their dogs bark and their trucks are loud, and they get right. I don't complain about it. I don't call the police or nothing. I just think that's being neighbors, you know. It's just living in communities. That's what happens, you know. I don't mind it all, and I don't pay attention to it. I just block it out, you know. I won't repeat that comment, but yeah, that's right, you know. I'm very neighborly, you know. You consider the biblical injunctions is, you know, love your neighbors yourselves. I don't think it's really going in that direction to do that. But that was one example. These are the kind of charges I'm facing. You know, no one was hurt at all. It's just frivolous baloney charges to harass me. They're engaging, I believe, in what they call malicious prosecution against me. That's why I demand that the prosecutor dismiss the charges. You know, it's ludicrous they would do this to me again. They did this when my mother was alive. They did this to me multiple times, going back 12 years. It all started 12 years ago when I videotaped a police officer here in Columbia, Illinois, and they had the eavesdropping law, where the federal court had not yet found it unconstitutional, which they did here a few years back now. This law that you could not make audio recordings of people, police in particular, without their permission and all this. So that you couldn't make videotapes of encounters with police because you were eavesdropping on them under this law. You face prison time or severe penalties for it. You face... depending on how they charge you, you can face up to 15 years in prison for doing this. But or 1 to 3, they could 1 to 3 or 7 to 15 or so, depending on which charge they gave you under this eavesdropping statute. But the federal judges have found it unconstitutional, and also the state court finally found it unconstitutional as well. That those provisions of that law were struck down, that they're no longer valid and operative under Illinois law. Thank goodness. I mean, thank goodness. you'd have some real problems doing cop block or doing anything of that sort in Illinois if that law was still being enforced and applied. It's really something else, and that's how I got it. That's what really got the ball rolling with these police then targeting me for these frivolous offenses over and over and just railroading me. Although I had also issues with them potentially going back to high school and stuff too, because for example, I was a cannabis smoker and all this. That was part of that crowd and stuff. So there's, they probably didn't care for me to begin with. They're high on me to begin with, for years and years. But that's when it really started was after I videotaped the guy and I was charged with eavesdropping, felony eavesdropping. I was charged with at that time, and they had to post an exorbitant bail amount to get out of jail for it and stuff. It was threatened with prison for it. But later, he's charged with numerous other offenses, and later in plea bargains. In that case, that charge was dismissed later in plea bargaining. It's terrible. It's a terrible situation. That's why I say this Colonel, and so then I developed this Colonel record. You see, for this should all be vacated. It would be just to vacate all these convictions, and to dismiss the current charges. It would be just to do that. That would serve the interests of justice and truth. And this is a new prosecutor you got, where you had Chris Wright, was a Democrat, was a prosecutor for many years, and he retired. Now there's a new Republican prosecutor, Chris Heitzman. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. This new guy, this is his chance to do a different and stuff. If he continues in this current course, he's not doing it. It's business as usual, the worst sort. If they take you there, what is this place like? Is it inpatient? Well, that's what Dr. Cuneo is wanting to do. He's proposing that I be sent to a forensic psychiatric institute. They have them here in Illinois. They have them in Chester, Illinois, and Alton, Illinois. The Alton Mental Health Center and Chester's Mental Health Center. They're like the modern mental hospital, but you call them hospital, they're mental prisons. Essentially. They're places of detention where you are coerced into receiving the treatments that they decide to administer to you, which will likely involve these antipsychotic drugs to destroy your nervous system and brain. It's a terrible place to go. Yeah, a number of years ago, as this went on, I was sent to Alton Mental Health Center to be evaluated. I was there. I wound up being there for about almost 2 weeks. Just a 2-week stay. And fortunately, the psychiatrist who took my case, he did not coerce me into taking antipsychotic drugs. He put me on a benzodiazepine, which wasn't no big deal. I don't like them actually; they make me tired. It was no big deal. He gave me Klonopin, but he did not require me to take antipsychotic drugs. He didn't see where they were indicated. They're being used to punish and control. These are horrific drugs. They should be banned. These should be controlled substances. If you're going to have controlled, those should be the controlled substances. All this dope should be legal over-the-counter product. This stuff, this antipsychotic, this should be controlled substances. These drugs should be banned. Let's see. Let's try to get some music going here. That's what I was going to do here, though. Also, we have a little prayer vigil and so. And let's see what we got here. I was working on this. Let me see here. On domestic guys, I'm going to have to turn on the screen for a minute. I won't see your comments for a moment here. For a few moments. Because I want to. Or maybe I can see both. Maybe. Let's bring this up. Okay, let's resize this. Maybe I can do it. See what I can do here. Oh, and hold on like that. Oh, like this. Oh, there. Oh, and this in here. Like this. I've explained before I'm an agnostic. I mean, because I don't know everything, right? So I don't know. I don't know if there's God, if there's angels and all this. Although I have these unusual experiences that suggest that, but I don't know it. You know, I can't scientifically demonstrate it this time empirically. So I call myself an agnostic. I don't know everything. And I admit I don't know everything. So I don't know. But as an agnostic, I feel free to experiment with various spiritual traditions, etc. And that's what I do. So I was going to have a little prayer vigil here. I can be delivered from my adversaries who are threatening my liberty, etc. I was working on this arrangement of this Amazing Grace song. Most people know this song, the melody and stuff. Here's the lyrics I got here. Can you see them on the screen? Let's see if you can see that or not. Oh. Okay, I need to move the streaming a little bit over so you can see them a little bit better. Maybe. There we go. If you got a big screen, you can zoom in or something. Or you just make them out, maybe. I don't know if you can or not. I'm just guessing. But I'm still thinking, though, now that I've minimized the one screen, that let me see if I can bring the other one up again and see the comments again. There we go, yeah. And we'll, actually I can see that there. Well, apparently my camera was overheating. Or was it causing my phone to get real hot or something? And it said it was closing apps to cool off. Without warning, it did this to me. I wonder if there's some way I can minimize negate that issue. Let me see if I close this cover, it would still work. Let me try this really. Hold on one moment, excuse me while I do this. What's that? Aha! It does work. So now I've got the cover closed. It did not work. Then it disconnected. Sorry about that. I didn't know. Oh, now we got the wrong screen on her. Come on now. There we go. Oh, now don't switch again. Oh, oh my. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. Always some catastrophe throwing this. Let's see here. Yeah, it said the cameras. Maybe I'll turn off the camera for a little while shortly, and then come back because it said it was getting real hot. But it's working right now, so I'm gonna let it go for now. As long as I can, as long as it's working. If it's not broke, I won't fix it. But how are we doing here? We adjust this setting here. Oh, I did that before. I got it. Here. Sit here. That'll work. Look at that weird video loop. It's like an audio feedback loop, but it's video. As it cascades into infinity there. The camera looking at the camera, or looking at a screen within a screen within a screen within a screen, like mirrors when you hold them up together. Interesting. Okay. Let's try this again. See, I was working on my own arrangement of this Amazing Grace song. There's a song, it's like 200 years old, that song, actually. Around 200 years old. Who's this guy's name that wrote it? Newton, I believe. John Newton. Yeah, John Newton. Lived from 1725 to 1807. Wrote the song. I was trying to work out my own arrangement to it. Anyway. Going to tune here. Pretty cool. Fine tune it here. My mic over here so we get maybe some a little reverb on it. So. Oh, the mic over here. All right, scoot in here once. Can you see my pug now yet? Oh, it's got such a layer. It's a way to see. Hello. Well, I don't see me there yet. Oh, I see. It's farther over, I guess. Yeah, there we are. There we are. just back me. Yeah, let's. Oh my. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Now I see. Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. First believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I've already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Lead me home. The Lord has promised good to me. His word, my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. Life endures. Just when this flesh and heart shall fail, and mortal life shall cease, I shall possess within the veil a life of joy and peace. Joy and peace. We got to scroll down this. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Let's scroll down the lyrics here a little bit. Okay. Yes, when this flesh and heart shall fail, and mortal life. Did my mom love when I sang? Sometimes and sometimes not. Shall cease, I shall profess within the veil a life of joy and peace. Joy and peace. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. First begun. Amazing Grace, John Newton, with arrangement by David Brian Miller, MUBL, or dm666, as he bills himself. Thanks, Domestic Goddess. Yeah, my mom, you asked, did she love when I would sing? Sometimes she liked my singing, and sometimes she did not. Sometimes she, oh, knock that off. You've been, she said, if I was rehearsing a song, and sometimes I get on a song, rehearse it for a long period. Oh, you played it over and over, the same thing. Knock it off. But other times she liked my songs. I sing sometimes. Depending on what it was, too. I mean, I sing a wide variety of music. Of course, everybody's taste varied. So that was interesting. Amazing Grace. It was very simple arrangement. It was I did in the key of E. I'm doing. I go E major chord, E 7th chord, A major chord, A minor chord. I alternate between and then B 7th chord. Those are the chords I'm using. If you're interested, I could do it on keyboard too over here if I wanted to. My little keyboard here. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. See? Do a piano version like that. Do any of my siblings sing? Actually, my one sister sings sometimes in the Catholic Church where she attends, I believe. Donna Roth, my one sister. I'm sorry if I said your name, Don. I don't even mention your right name, but she sings in church sometimes, I believe. My other siblings aren't aren't much of songbirds, I suppose, that I'm aware of. Anyhow. Your daughter sings, huh? That's good. You know, music is something that if you got kids, they'll stay with them all their life and stuff. It's a great thing for them to learn. Little classical guitar here. Try a little bit. All right, here's this other one off. Oh, once I Studying E minor by Francisco Tarrega will do here. See if we can put it more over here. See maybe what we're doing here. So it's interesting what I'm playing here. Over here. See, okay. Let's get that other thing out of the way. For now. There we go. Well, this works. So we'll try Studying E minor by Francisco Tarrega, who was a guitarist from about 100 years ago, probably a little more, 120 years ago or so. How's that? You see it better now? There we go. Yeah, let's see if we can adjust it here somewhat. It's really tricky for me. Oh no, that's too high. Well, don't fall. Don't fall, okay? Oh, now it's going to go lopsided on me, huh? But you can maybe see me better, though. Like this. Huh. There we kind of see me there. All right. All right, let's go again. Studying E minor, Francisco Tarrega. Aha! Studying E minor by Francisco Tarrega. I guess he's really in the romantic period. They call it classical guitar. I guess he really comes in from the romantic period, I suppose, which was after a little bit after the classical period. Oops, excuse me one moment. Sorry about that. It's my allergies kicking in. I wish my air conditioner would kick in. Actually, I had a window open for a moment here. We need to close that. So, it's getting kind of muggy in here now. The air conditioner will kick on here in a second. For a moment. There we go. Oh gosh. No, I've never been married. I've single all my life. I'm 55. And that's just, you know, I lived in this home since I was 4. We moved in this house in 1967. I've always lived in the same house here, 99 North Brigham, Columbia. My father purchased. He worked for the Veterans Administration in St. Louis. There. He served in World War II in the U.S. Navy. He was in the Navy for more than 6 years. He went through the South Pacific, and they went to all kinds of islands in the South Pacific and stuff, and cruised around. He's a minesweeper and a cargo vessel, etc. He served in the U.S. Navy during World War II in the Pacific Theater there. Somewhere I got like medals from him doing that and stuff that show it. And then we got out of the service, and he got employment at the Veterans Administration, where he worked until he retired in 1980. There are 4 kids. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother, so there's 5. I'm the youngest one. I'm the youngest one, born in 1962. The oldest one is my brother, who was born in 1947. So he's considerably older than me. He's almost old enough to be my father, you know. Oh, Norm. You have 4 kids, I mean, 4 siblings, 5 kids. Let me see something here. Over there. See if there's anything interesting we can put on here too. But while we do this, let's see. How can I do this? Well, not with that. Here. Oh, sorry. No, did you want kids? I would not unless I had the finances to really treat them good. I wouldn't want kids unless I had a really high income. That's my idea about that. That's how I was really situated good financially. And then I'd consider it. But until then, I would not want kids. I wouldn't want bring kids in the world and I'd be able to offer them the best. You know? Let's see, I'm trying to, Alright. Let's see. Let's see here, where's that? Oh. Well, I can't see the chat there. Well, there it is. Yeah. Right there. Let's see. Let's see. Look at some of my recent photos and stuff. Have I traveled much? You know, when I was a child, when I was younger, my parents would go on vacations. You know, up to when I was a teenager, so I would go to places like California, Florida. I've been to New York, Maine.